projects like Delhi Metro and ISRO2. Forgenberg is conducting pro-talk conversation with professionals in order to motivate the younger generations, future professionals, to lead their professional life in the right direction. Let us jump into the program right away, and let's welcome Mr. Rajkumar, Managing Director of Soft Designers. Welcome, sir.
Namaste, Berger. I'm very happy to be here.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Could you please say a few words about yourself?
Yeah, basically, I am from Tamil Nadu, southern part like Kanyakumari, and I graduated in engineering by around 2006 in instrumentation. So I am very deeply passionate in instrumentation, machine controlling, machine automation. So I learned LabVIEW, then worked for 2 years continuously in the machine automation. Then I moved on to the image processing, which is the upcoming and very great field. And I'm in this field for like more than 10 years. I had worked enough in all the big MNCs like ISRO or Delhi Metro, Schneider Electric, or any big companies, G, can say every companies. So I'm very honored to be associated with this interview.
Thank you. I could understand that you are very passionate about your profession. Do you really recollect your school days? That do you really had this same vision when you are schooling?
Frankly, topper in the school also. Like I were always an average type of student who like I performed decently enough. I were interested in mathematics and science subjects compared to the other subjects. Maybe my interest on the mathematics had helped, I guess. Like until 9th standard in the school in the India. So we used to have we don't have exams, but by around 10th you will have exams. So by the time I had a tuition and so separately for mathematics. So maybe from that time I started learning about the different nuances in mathematics. My tuition teacher, I would remember Mr. Hariharan, had really helped me in growing myself. So from that time until 9th standard, I were performing about 40 marks in mathematics. Then from 10th standard, I started performing very, very good. Around in 10th standard, I got some 96 or 97 in mathematics. So he is the one who is to motivate me, telling that you can really perform in mathematics, and it's all about knowing the right things in mathematics. It's not about by hearting or knowing everything in mathematics. So that really helped me. And by 11th standard or 12th standard, I started knowing about different things in mathematics, physics, chemistry. I started learning very much. So from then on, I think at 12th standard also I performed decently, probably around 194 in mathematics and performed decently. I was never a topper. Even in 12th standard, I was never a topper. And I have a very average engineering college in the sense I was never a topper again in engineering college also. I was always an average student. But the final year, maybe like people will be knowing that you used to do the engineering college projects the final year. So by the time I started hearing about different things like VLSI, because I always have passion to be part of upcoming and very interesting technologies. So by the time VLSI was the very hottest subject. I think even now also it's very hottest. So by the time VLSI was very hottest, so I thought, okay, let's do a hands-on in VLSI. Then I done VLSI course outside in PSG engineering college, and I got certification. But then again, I thought like, why can't we do something like instrumentation? So then again, I had done some instrumentation related courses. So that is the one which I had taken LabVIEW. LabVIEW is one of the course which I had taken. So LabVIEW is nothing but is a machine controlling instrumentation and all. So I thought, okay, this could be a right mix because there was a time like people are very passionate in software engineering and all that. But I were very interested that we should get into our core field only. Core field is what I learned about, which is electronic and instrumentation. So I think that sticking with my core had really helped me. So LabVIEW was the right mix for me. So if LabVIEW was not there, then I would be doing something related to VLSA or something else. But I would never been in the software field because that was never my blood or my passion or interest. So I'm really glad to be part of my core field.
Yeah, very interesting to know the stories about your education background, and I'm very glad that you have explored your education background in a way that you studied mathematics well, and you got more interested towards engineering, instrumentation, as well as, like, you have explored VLSI and other interesting area. You have got hooked into LabVIEW at the final stage. Is there anybody that they guide you in your family? Do you have any experience to share?
Yeah. So from my childhood, like I have my tutor, whose name is Mr. Arun. So he's the guy who used to motivate me, telling that you should get into research, you should become a scientist, all that. But personally, being an average fellow, I never thought I can never be a great part in the scientist or any other serious profession. So that was the time, I think, like around after 12th standard, I felt that we should get into something interesting, and we should somehow prove ourselves, because it's not about being average for the lifetime. So I thought the LabVIEW course is the right mix, which really helped me.
You are so passionate about winning your game, life game, I can say. So, what would be the first experience after you pass out from your college, when you start, giving your kick to your career?
See, as you know, like people who are studied in the normal engineering colleges, they won't get placed easily. So it's a typical scenario for myself also. So I didn't get placed anywhere. So I thought, okay, why not try in Bangalore or some important cities where the openings will be there. So I moved to Bangalore. I started attending interviews. Then I got a company called Microcon, where there are only few companies who work in LabVIEW. Probably there are like Captronics, Apna Technologies, and Soliton Technologies. There are like probably three, four companies, and I would have attended all the interviews in all the LabVIEW-based companies in Bangalore. And most of the times I'll get cleared in the LabVIEW or programming round. Sometimes I'll get stuck up in the what do you call the theoretical questions, because I was never in good in the theoretical things. So that didn't help me in getting into MNCs, because there will be some list of electronic based questions. How do you make the instrumentation amplifier? How do you make the RC coupler? So those are all important questions. But yeah, frankly, since I didn't had a great engineering background, or I didn't study it as good as everyone would have expected, so I didn't clear those technical rounds, or the theoretical questions will be asked. I were really good in the programming or the problem solving abilities, but I were not good in the theoretical subjects, or like, because generally in interviews there will be aptitude questions. So aptitude question is the one you have to study more actually. It's not there's not like a greatest problem solving ability you require. There will be a list of formulas, equations, so which you need to by heart and you need to do it. But I didn't had that interest in learning by hearting different formulas and all. So I didn't cleared all those interviews. Actually, Soliton was a good company that time. I cleared probably 3-4 rounds, but I didn't get cleared, probably because of this particular round. So that was the time I think I got into my first company, which was Microcon I2I Private Limited, and they hired me for as a instrumentation developer. And that time my pay was actually lesser. It was like 2,000 rupees per month. That was my first pay. And personally I joined because of the reason that it can help me to learn LabVIEW and work in LabVIEW, and knowing about the different skill set required in becoming a great profession as LabVIEW. So, so I thought, okay, why not let us work in this company, get some good experience, learn everything, and move out. So that was the only reason I joined there. And but I had a really very good experience, I would say, even now also, because for every developer or every engineer who is there, who had just passed out and going to get passed out, I think the first company is one of the most important place where you'll be learning all the skills. Probably the first 2 years of your experience is the most critical thing, because I know many guys like who had gone into big MNCs where people will be working like a normal testing engineer, doing documentation and all that. But I have never been in that. I were being given some machines. For every machine, I have to program it. I have to connect it. I have to install the machine. I have to do everything. So starting from development of the machine, installing it, commission it, repair the machine, because there'll be like hundreds of machines. And Microphone I2I Private Limited was a great experience, because that company was there for like I think 30-40 years, and they are the first company to introduce data acquisition related cards and all. So which was very high end actually. To make a data acquisition card, you need a solid electronic background, you need a VLSI design, and you need multidisciplinary skills to do that. And they were a very big company from that time. Um, but the only thing, they didn't get salary, but it was a very great experience for me. I was able to learn different skills from that.
Very interesting, sir. Actually, I could see like as a mathematic expert when you were in school or maybe in college, and theoretically you have learnt a lot, and you got very good score. But what was driving you to learn, especially LabVIEW, when you have choice of VLSI, microcontrollers, programming, and embedded system, and so many other technologies were available at that time? How did you overcome this struggle? And when you study this LabVIEW, how you were judging yourself, like how much you have and how much you put effort on yourself to improve yourself?
Yeah, it's a very interesting question. It have a very funny story also. Say like as I were attending many interviews by the time, like in 2006, I attending almost 5 interviews every week, and every week I'll be clearing all the puzzles or somewhat those type of questions. But as I mentioned, I was not good in aptitude, so I will not get cleared in that. So the thing is very clear that I cannot get into MNCs without knowing good aptitude or the good hard electronic knowledge. So that time I thought, okay, first let us start in a small company. Even with the lesser salary, I can learn everything. And as you mentioned, that there are multiple professions available like embedded, and there are many professions. But LabVIEW is the one which is very interesting, because uh, like for doing a software job, uh, a pure software profession people can do, or even a mechanical engineer can do after 3 months of coaching or courses or anywhere anything. But to become a LabVIEW developer, actually you need two things. One is good problem solving ability. Second is you need some good electronic or good instrumentation background, because there are lots of somebody will directly tell connect the sensor. So to connect a sensor, you should know that sensor is what. Sensor is about sensing a physical thing, could be temperature, pressure, or anything. So somebody can tell accelerometer. So you should know what is accelerometer. It's not about connecting it. It's about knowing what is accelerometer, how to use it. So that was the thing which was very interesting, because it needs people who have background in proper engineering with instrumentation background, and as well as it requires problem solving ability, because it have programming actually. It's not like LabVIEW is a simple connection or a hardware or something. It needs good problem solving ability. So it was helping both sides, and probably that was my interest also.
I would like to ask you that when you got placed in your first company, and you have had a lot of struggle, and you were like all rounder there, like thing, and it was a wonderful opportunity that I could see, like learning part. You That means, like, it was a second level of learning after you passed out from your college. This experience, how it was driving you to get a better placement in a next level?
See, like our first company is the most important place, and that was a company like where you'll be given complete responsibility and ownership for developing and working on the machines. So, for example, they'll be having 5 junior engineers, and every junior engineer will be given responsibility to work on a machine. So, what happens like you are the sole responsibility for the success of the machine. So, for example, in big companies, what they will do, they'll be telling, okay, you have to just do programming, or you have to just do the connection, or you have to do just do the installation, or commissioning, or repairing of the machine. But in Microcon I2I Private Limited, I got the complete experience, starting from developing the machine, installing the machine, commissioning of the machine, repairing the machine, to everything. So it had helped me a lot actually. And they will be using different programmings also. It's not like only LabVIEW. They'll be having .NET. They'll be having Visual Basic. They'll be having multiple languages also. Though I am working predominantly in LabVIEW, but even I had some hands-on in the PLCs, SCADAs as well. So that really helped me actually. Like even now also I can tell the most experience or most learning I had actually come from my first company. From first company only I learned a lot. That 2 years was my important period. So after that, whatever I had done, I taken, I had improved from those skills. I nurtured those skills. But my first company was the most important thing and most important experience which I ever had.
As you escalate your career from a smaller company to MNC, have you ever faced interesting or challenging project on your MNC career that you would like to share with us?
As I mentioned, my first company was Microcon I2I Private Limited, and they were doing the machine automation. And by the end of 2 years, my pay got increased, not much as people would expect, like I think around 12,000 or something like that. My pay had increased. It had come from 2,000 to 12,000. So that was a big money even for me by the time. So my pay got increased. But what happened is like after 2 years, I started doing repeated work. Say like they'll be giving a machine, and every time I have to do the programming, and it's all the repeated job. So what happens is like I get bored whenever I need to do a repeated work. So I thought, okay, what is the next level of project or next level of company which I should pursue? So I thought the image processing is one of the most advanced technology and is upcoming technology. So I thought, why not get into that? Because there are two things. One is the robotics. Robotics was one of my interest also even that time. So the robotics was there, the motion control and all. Second was image processing. Both were very interesting because there are few technologies which had not reached its real potential. So the robotics and image processing is one such field because the human have very good abilities compared to robots. See, a robot, even with the existing standard, it cannot walk easily on a staircase. It cannot take a decision on its own. It fails in many different places while walking, while sleeping, while how to wake up while after falling. There are many cases there. How to identify between snow and your paper. There are many questions which are there which scientists are solving. I know it will get solved, but it's still a very tough nut to crack to reach ability of a human. So I thought, okay, why not take a toughest technology and get into it and learn from it? Because as I were from the beginning, my interest was always in learning technologies. It was never about the salary. So I thought, okay, let us get into tough technology. So and I got a company called Ankaira, so which was based in Bangalore, and they works in image processing. So actually, that Ankera had helped me grow into an image processing engineer. Actually, they work on making medicines, not making medicines. Sorry, the inspection of the medicines. Basically, when medicines come from manufacturer, so it will have different cracks. It will have different color. It will have different defects. So we develop machines to inspect those tablets and medicines. So I was working on that. So we will be checking the color of the tablet, we'll be checking the size of the tablet. There will be multiple inspections, and that particular experience had helped me in different levels actually, because the image processing was one of the very toughest thing, and even there also there was not many seniors who can really guide me to learn. So everything I had to learn from myself. What is camera? What is lens? What is shutter? What is polarizer? There are many concepts are there. Image processing is the one you need to learn with theory and practice. So there are many fields which are there. You can directly start without knowing the theory. But if for image processing engineer, learning the theory is as important as doing the practice. So I started learning that. I started referring books. I started learning that, and within I think 1 or 2 years, I started knowing the different important concepts in image processing. So that really helped me. From then on, it was my next 8 years was like it was going very smoothly. Smoothly in the sense, next 3 years I was working as a pure image processing engineer with around 500 machines we would have delivered. Then on, we had taken a track and trace, which was a, I think track and trace is one of the very biggest project which India had ever done. Say like it was even we got awarded for the track and trace. We have an international expo every year in Bombay, so where thousands of manufacturers used to come there, will display their machines, and our product, I think track and trace, we got awarded for the 2 consecutive years, and I was leading the product, which was a very simple product. So where, for example, you scan the product, you will get a barcode, and from the barcode you'll be scanning it, and you'll be getting the acknowledgement that the product is valid or invalid. This is to avoid the counterfeiting, because counterfeiting is one of the worst thing in the pharmaceutical. So all the important medicines gets counterfeited, and we might think we are getting original tablet, but it could be duplicate. So we've done that product, which helps avoiding the counterfeiting. And thousands of, I think more than 1 million machines are there, and almost 80% of pharmaceutical would be having it. So I think track and trace is one of the most toughest technology and toughest product which I ever done, because it have every layers. It starts from the lowest data acquisition, lowest image processing, to the enterprise level server, managing databases, managing clients, managing network, managing security. It have different layers. So my interest in learning actually helped, because as everybody knows, like I'm not excellent guy in theories, or I were never good in the engineering. So what happens is like I have to learn everything, and I was never an IT guy, because in track and trace product you need to know the different things in databases, server, what is server, what is IT stuff. So you should start learning it. In the track and trace project, there are multiple layers. So starts from the IT layer, the security, networking, database, server, and all the stuff. And there is a instrumentation layer, the sensors, there will be data question, rejection, everything. So I were started learning everything. Then after learning, I were really good in that, and I felt that product had helped me learn about the different things in the learning the IT thing is completely new. So we have to refer the books to continuously learn and to improve. So I think my product track and trace, which I developed before 4 years, I think that was greatest product which I ever developed.
Normally, the engineer who pass out from the college always will have a mindset to get a better placement and settle their life financially. Some they work for the passion. I hope that you are one among who work for the passion. Have you ever thought of working for the nation?
Yes. Working for our Indian defense, or ISRO, or any important organization was my goal actually. See, I'm an engineer, so how can I contribute to the nation? So I know that I cannot join army to fight. I might not succeed in the physical test. There is a high chance chance that I might not succeed because I wear specs also. And I thought there should be some way which I should be able to contribute. So I thought my knowledge can be a greatest partner in helping the nation. So very recently, I had done a project in Indian Army also. So which we had made a communication device which had helped people in the warfare. So that was the one. And recently, we had done a project for ISRO too in their communication device. Even they had a communication device where different motions has to be achieved. So irrespective of the money which I'll be getting it, I am really happy to be part of such projects because that was the one the important thing. Because it's not like how we can go and fight it. It's we can also help the nation by partnering in the knowledge side, because such projects and defense projects is one of the important thing which India even now also importing hugely. What happens is in India we have resources, but we are not guided and motivated enough to do such high technology projects. So what happens? Indian defense when they need on high technology hardware, we normally import from different countries. We never manufacture it. It's not like we don't have ability. All our guys are there in big companies, say Microsoft, say Google. It's all governed by Indian guys. But we import billions of dollars from foreign countries, including US and many countries. The reason is simple. We are not motivated enough and we are not approach the engineering in the right fashion. We don't do the work perfectly as it's required. You can easily make a spoon and do a mistake and still get away, but you should not make a mistake in a bullet. So, bullet or bomb. A bomb is a versatile thing. You might have planned to reach X position, it would have reached Y position. Simple as that. You would have killed your own people. So it's very important and very tricky thing.
Yes.
So which require very huge, precise, and high engineering effort to actually succeed in it. So such places, actually the high technology or passionate engineers should definitely join and help the nation, so that we can avoid a huge amount of imports from foreign countries. As well, we can give lots of jobs to Indian people who needs jobs and they are skilled, but they don't know the approach or they are not motivated enough. So I think that really helped. Such defense project what I did had really helped me to excel in my interest and passion, and I'm hoping that I'll be doing a lot more defense projects soon. Uh, there are some one project which is in the pipeline which I cannot explain now. So maybe in the future, if somebody tells there's a machine, I might tell that machine was made by myself. So let's hope
Fantastic.
for the best.
Fantastic. Very interesting. Normally, the intellectual people, they try to invest their knowledge for the social well-being. I hope you are one among. You have a lot of social responsibility within yourself. What was your experience when you escalate your career from employee to an entrepreneur?
Yeah. So entrepreneurship is very interesting thing actually, because I know that I can make machines. I were decently good in technical things. I can do different things in a technical side. But entrepreneurship requires a different skill set altogether. It needs you to know the basic accounting. It needs you to know the basics in the cash flow, how the business runs, how to do the recruitment. Because there are even in the company, there will be multiple departments that will be there. The accounting, the HR, multiple departments that will be there. So you should know the different things, how to do the recruitment, how effectively you can do it, how to retain the cashes and how to use the cash. So there are multiple things which are required. So even for the my abilities, whatever I tried, I were not very good in the initial couple of years because I were not good in managing the accounts and all. So which I started learning through experience. I got some really good hit, which I would say now. So which had helped me in gaining the experience. So right now I learned like how to do the sales, how to do the marketing, how to manage the accounts, how to do the recruitment. And the most important thing which I learned from entrepreneurship is perseverance. So which is you should not give up by any small things actually. So perseverance is the most important thing which you need to succeed in the entrepreneur. It doesn't require great technical skill. Even Alibaba, which you guys will be knowing, is not the greatest technical guy which industry ever had, but he was the greatest business guy who knows how to make organization. Of course, there are lots of really good technical guys that are there, like Bill Gates, Mark Zuckerberg, or Facebook. There are many guys are there. So, but you might not need everything to succeed and run a excellent organization. So, which, of course, I learned while running my own organization. So,
And
yes, perseverance is the most important thing.
superb, superb. Your core profession is LabVIEW. So I would like to get little more idea that who can actually learn this LabVIEW.
Basically, LabVIEW is like any other skill. So, for example, if I'm asking you, who can learn chess? So, what would you say? I will tell, okay, anybody who wants to learn can definitely do it. The same thing for LabVIEW. Yes, the LabVIEW needs some background knowledge. Background knowledge, for example, LabVIEW have different modules. For example, it should know the numerics. What is addition, what is subtraction, what is division. You should know what is the basic things like AND gate, OR gate, NAND gate, and you should know the basics in arithmetics. Yeah, it is required to do that. So it needs some basics of everything. But if you ask me, okay, I don't know anything, like how can I learn from today? Yes, I would tell these are all there are multiple courses are there. So basic mathematics, you should know it definitely. The arithmetics. So basic AND gate, NAND gate, gates, you should know it. Yeah, gates are very important in programming, like many other skills. You should know the basics in the structures, like if condition or what if, so while condition, which is basically there in every programming languages. So you consider C programming, you have all the cases: if condition, while loop, for loop, all these are there. Same thing for LabVIEW. So now, for example, a guy from a 12th standard, he can also learn LabVIEW definitely, because LabVIEW needs some basic coaching. So even if you don't know what is an AND gate, it doesn't need a rocket science to know it. You can simply Google it, what is AND gate, you will know within next second. So definitely these skills can be acquired very easily. And if you got a right coach, definitely it can be learned within 3 months. Maybe if you don't know anything, like initially 1 month, you need to brush up in initial programming and initial arithmetic, AND gate, NOR gate, or basic skills. And then within next 2 months, it's sufficient actually to learn LabVIEW. So it's all about your interest and passion in learning only. It's never that's the greatest or the toughest technology which people might not learn or won't get learned. It is definitely easily possible for anybody.
I may ask you a critical question that you are a LabVIEW professional. If you get a chance to teach your ability to the upcoming generation, will you really do that?
Yeah, I'm actively doing teaching for LabVIEW profession. So basically, I'm teaching different people. So one is direct from colleges, and I'm also doing coaching for the professional people who are already working in the different companies, because every companies need upskilling. So they'll be already doing some work. For upskilling, they need to get trained. So I'm also doing some LabVIEW training for them, and I'm also doing some remote teaching for image processing. Because image processing is one of the toughest field where people will always like to learn, and which does not need you to go there and teach. So you can easily do the teaching using any online platform. And Forgenberg is one of the online platform we can easily use for teaching the people from different areas, because you can easily sit in your place, just open a laptop and teach hundreds or thousands of people. easily. Even they can be from any countries, any region, so you can get easily connected. So technology really help people to get connected and to get enough learning and upskilling.
May I know what's your personal opinion about the Forgenberg platform?
Yeah, Fosenberg is really interesting because it have a great vision how to connect the educators and the students. Because it's not like you're giving a video and people get learn. It doesn't happen. You need a complete ecosystem to work. You need the good content where good audio visual contents are there where people can learn, and then you need good question and answer sessions because of course people students will have lots of questions, and questions are the most important thing how people will grow. It doesn't mean like you are having good content people learn and everything will work. It doesn't happen like that. Every bright engineer or bright student will have lots of questions. If they don't have question, you can easily tell they are not bright because any subject, anything should have lots of questions which needs to answer. So of course, Fosenberg is a new platform, but it have all the important ingredients like good audio visual contents. It have a good question and answer sessions. So where the students can easily ask the tutors about their questions, and they can also raise their question answers. Basically, they can raise their questions offline using their question answers sessions. So there are multiple methods they are approaching. So I think it's one of the great platform which we can be associated.
Would you like to leave few words for the young engineers who are watching this show?
So it's a great moment to be sharing with you because it's been more than 15 years which I've been working in this engineering field, and there have been lots of ups and downs, but that is part of the work which we do. So I sincerely believe there are lots of students out there who have completed engineering, are going to do engineering. There are lots of people who just need motivation and the right approach and the right direction. So I hope I can be part of that, and I hope there will be millions of people who take the legacy forward, something which Mr. Abdul Kalam and Vivekananda and lots of great people who had already done the same. So I would wish that there will be lots of passionate engineers who are working already in different places should also contribute to the empowerment of people and the country. Thank you so much.
Rajkumar, you are a very good scholar. You have very good subject knowledge, and out of motivation from your teacher, you set your priority very precisely. You took electronics and instrumentation in your engineering, and you took LabVIEW as your profession. You took your first company in order to learn LabVIEW, and you became master as you could do a complete project as one man show. Right now, you're guiding many LabVIEW professionals who are working in various MNCs like Schneider Electric and General Engineering. I'm glad to have you on our Forgenberg platform, and you are conducting live courses and audiovisual sessions in order to motivate the young generations who are actually interested in LabVIEW profession. I'm sure this professional talk will definitely give motivation and inspiration to the young professionals who are looking for LabVIEW as their profession. Thank you so much for your valuable time, Mr. Rajkumar.